How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto. We start off today's video by talking about DigiByte mining and profitability. 0.245 days to mine 1 DigiByte. And this is interesting, this is a bit of an older article, but it still is interesting. And it is this quote right here. The great thing about this partnership is that every time you buy DGB, you will be helping the further development and promotion of DigiByte, which is pretty interesting. And it is exciting to see all the different things that we've been seeing happening in the cryptocurrency universe, especially with Bitcoin currently trading around that $11,000 mark, which is right on schedule. And so this is a pretty exciting video, I think, in terms of this is sort of is going to be a video that isn't exactly for the bulls. I think that I've made myself clear, time and time again that it's profitable to have a balanced perspective in cryptocurrency. And people who think that it's always going to be bullish are going to get hit hard when it's bearish, and people who always think that it's bearish, it basically speaks for itself. But still, I think long term we are right on track. It is very exciting to see all the things that have been happening, with DigiByte in the larger variety of the cryptocurrency space, and especially what we can expect to see happening. And of course, with a lot of these different aspects of Bitcoin now at 11,102, of course, is down from where it was recently trading. We have seen a real resurgence of interest in the space, and it is pretty exciting. And I suppose it does lend itself to however you want to look at it, but definitely interesting to see how Bitcoin has been acting in the past, I'd say, 4 months since we've sort of been into this Groundhog Day-esque, way that things have been proceeding. But Bitcoin is riding high, again, as investors embrace risk. Definitely interesting to see. I'm not one to bring up these, Wall Street articles, but still, 1 billion liquidated as Bitcoin price had crashed by 1.4K in minutes. Bitcoin price suddenly crashed 1.4K in to 10,600 and rebounded slightly as weekly volatility continued. And it is interesting to see just how it has been bouncing around. And of course the price has since recovered, but definitely interesting to see just how the space has been responding to a lot of this volatility and many of these different overall aspects. But what I really want to talk about here is business, in terms of business, in terms of blockchain, and sort of a point that can be made for DigiByte in terms of blockchain, and just exactly what we can expect to see happening around us right now, which does involve many of the finer aspects of how different blockchains are going to have to interact with the developing paradigm, and of course the shifting paradigm that we're witnessing happening in the space. We have but definitely interesting to see something like DigiByte, a rapidly growing open source blockchain created in 2013 and released in 2014. After 6 years of forward thinking development, DigiByte has become one of the safest, fastest, and longest and most decentralized UTXO blockchains in existence. Just as a just to start off this video, I do want to say, I'm happy to be a part of this community. I think that not only the cryptocurrency community at large, but the DigiByte community as a finer aspect of, and I think that there are some interesting and intelligent people in this space, but I'd imagine that DigiByte does have one of the greatest communities of any altcoin, that even the loyalty rivals that of Bitcoin. So it is interesting just to see how the community has evolved, and a lot of these other aspects of the space have made their mark. And just as we've been watching a lot of these different events happening on the global stage, many of these fear, uncertainty, and doubt principles coming into play, but still Bitcoin and DigiByte and cryptocurrency going off without a hitch, without a single hiccup, which is pretty exciting and pretty telling about the survivability of these digital assets and what we can expect to see as these things move forward. And 5 years down the line, I think we'll all be laughing, and the people will be going through the archives of all the different tweets that people put out these days, the same way that they go through the archives of all the different tweets and posts of all the people who are talking about selling their $1 Bitcoin because it dropped from $1 to 50 cents one day, and people were like, oh, I don't want to buy Bitcoin for $1. And those people would obviously be on a yacht somewhere if they had only hodled, the famous Bitcoin pizza, all these other things. And I think DigiByte will be one of those examples. And over a long enough time frame, there really isn't a doubt in my mind, barring some sort of regulatory, outright ban that might slow things down. I think that if left alone, these digital assets are on track and on par with some of the most important stages of the internet development that will be looked at and studied by historians who want to watch how a lot of these different historical events happened, and all the different things there too within and included. So we have XRP, IOTA, DigiByte. This is a pretty interesting price analysis. The latter seem to be the only cryptocurrency showing the long-term promise of a surge, with Bitcoin climbing above 11,000. The market seemed to have returned to normal. However, that also meant that altcoin dominance was being overshadowed by BTC. The price of XRP at press time stood at 0.24 and had a market cap of 10.9 billion. However, while most altcoins were headed down due to an increase in Bitcoin's dominance, XRP seemed to have risen on the chart. In fact, over the last 24 hours, the crypto noted a price hike of 1.56%. Pretty juicy. Now we go down to the DigiByte one. I wanted to mention that XRP component because I think it is interesting, because I do consider XRP to be sort of the establishment's, the banksters' perspective of a crypto, and it is interesting to look at it that way, and the way that it's spoken about, and the way that the different figures have aligned themselves behind it. Whereas Bitcoin is more of like the internet entrepreneurial side of it, I would imagine DigiByte to be sort of the sophisticated blockchain sort of technical minded people who are sort of thinking about the numbers as opposed to getting caught up in just the linguistics of it all. So Bitcoin stood at the 38th spot. DigiByte stood at the 38th spot on the cryptocurrency ladder and had a market cap of 318 million, which each token price at 0.023 at press time, although the price has tried breaching the 0.239 resistance, and I think that resistance is something we need to talk about. This is an interesting little piece of information that they have put out here for IOTA as well. But yeah, it will be exciting to see what's going to happen with DigiByte. And as far as the world sort of making that shift over to computing power, and as we see a lot of these different aspects happening, we'll just continue to stay strong as the DigiByte community always does. And I just thank you guys for watching all the way to the end, the guys and gals who watch this content. You're the lifeblood of I make this content to stay in communication with all of you. I just thank you all for supporting the channel. But of course, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not your financial advisor. This video is just for fun. So if you guys want to get involved with cryptocurrency, you got to start doing your own research. And don't listen to any YouTubers. I know many of you are very hardened to that fact, but just remember, I'm not your dad. But yeah, it will be exciting to see what happens with DigiByte and Bitcoin and the overall cryptocurrency space. Top performers at the time of making this video, Bitcoin POS project Pi, ARC, XRP, of course, which is why we're talking about that. And DigiByte, of course, still on that ranking list. So it is interesting. But yeah, all that being said, I hope you guys are having a good day. Stay healthy, have a good one, and make good decisions.